Hey y'all, this is Mo.
And I'm Joy.
We are lifelong friends who met in kindergarten and reconnected in Catholic school when we were 12. We are Christian women who enjoy travel, making art, cooking, baking, reading, and gardening. We do our very best to practice holistic health, and we love America. So pull up a chair and grab a hot tea, coffee, or chai latte and enjoy the show.
Today's job market is different from other times in history. Job seekers face a rapidly evolving workforce with changes in technology, generational attitudes, and even interfaces with AI. Our podcast will offer analysis, real-life examples, interviews, and discussions. We will explore solutions for the current workforce that is impacted by layoffs or just wanting to make a change. And we'll do it while having a laugh or two. Welcome to Real Talk for Today's Job Seekers podcast.
Good afternoon. I'm Mo.
And I'm Joy.
Today we are going to talk about ghost job postings. It's a term I actually became aware of around the first of the year and had originally thought it was just some sort of random title given. However, at this point, I have been able to absolutely confirm that it is, in fact, a real thing. So, what is a ghost job posting? According to Indeed.com, ghost jobs are fake or outdated listings that give the impression of a company hiring when they are actually not. I originally heard about this concept earlier this year, Joy, as I started to question what I was experiencing in my job search. One day, my former manager told me about ghost job postings, and I remember asking, what? What is that? And is that for real? He shared a story personal to him about applying for a job, getting an email kind of with the phrasing, due to changing business needs, we are not going to pursue this position. And then 2 weeks later, he found that same job posting from the same company. Crazy, right?
Right.
So to take it the next step, he actually performed a little test and he tried to reapply for that role.
Okay.
I was shocked when he told me when he tried, it wouldn't allow him, and he got some sort of error message that said, you have already applied for this role. Crazy, right? I was honestly a bit skeptical at first, even after he had told me all of that. But what he shared with me kind of was planted in the back of my mind. And now, sitting here talking about this, I don't know, I know we've talked about it probably multiple times over the last several months, but I 100% have bought in, and I realized that he was spot on. Joy, were you familiar with this concept prior to me sharing this a few months back?
No, not at all. I'm kind of shocked that these companies are doing things like this, and yeah, no, I had never heard of it.
I'm glad it wasn't just me.
Right.
Jeez. Well, I think we're going to talk about some real life cases. Joy, you've got several things to share with us, right?
I do.
Sweet.
First thing, we've got a LinkedIn post from a talent acquisition manager named Bo.
Okay.
And let's go ahead and we'll dive into the post.
Cool.
He starts, ghost jobs. Are the companies really posting these? And he says, yes, they are. Why? To create an appearance of growth for the shareholders, to build a talent pool for future needs, and assess the market for talent and compensation. So he continues, what is a ghost job? A ghost job is a listing that the company posts but have no intention of actually filling.
Boo.
These positions are often used for a variety of reasons: to gather resumes, boost search engine rankings, maintain a company's hiring image, or to appease its shareholders. Sometimes they're just simply outdated listings that are left up even though that the positions have already been filled. He continues, why are ghost jobs harmful? Ghost jobs are not only frustrating, but they can be incredibly harmful to job seekers. And
Yes.
here's why. I found this very interesting. Number one, wasted time and energy. Job seekers spend hours crafting resumes and cover letters, applying to positions that never existed and are no longer even available.
Yeah.
Number two, they can lead to false hope for candidates, giving them the expectation that they are running in for a job that isn't even real. Number three, and this is what bothers me the most, is the mental and emotional strain. Repeatedly facing rejection or no response after applying for these roles can lead to burnout, stress, and a decrease in confidence for those who are already struggling in the job search. And for somebody like me that has issues with the rejection anyway, to be repeatedly rejected
Yes.
in this form is especially disheartening. So
Agreed.
this gentleman continues, what can be done? As an industry, it's time to address the issue of ghost jobs head on. He starts transparency. Companies need to be more transparent with their hiring practices. If a position has been filled or is on hold, the listing should be updated or taken down. How's that for a concept?
Sounds good.
Right? Again, advocacy. The job boards and the platforms should work to monitor listings to prevent ghost jobs from clogging up the system. Finally, awareness. Job seekers can protect themselves by carefully evaluating the legitimacy of jobs, reaching out directly to the companies for clarification, and staying engaged with their professional network for more reliable leads. Easy for
Yes.
me to say.
Yeah, but that's kind of what it feels like, right? Like
Right.
you're getting tongue-tied, but actually that's what the whole job search feels like, at least for
Exactly.
me.
Yep, and this post alone had 51 reactions, 29 comments, and 1 repost. Mo, what do you think about all this?
You know, I totally relate to it. I loved that this came from a talent acquisition manager. So my viewpoint is this is a person who's out there, their job is to help other people find a job. And those points that were made about why it's harmful to job seekers, I can personally attest to the wasted time and energy, the false hope, and the mental and emotional strain. Honestly, having my network and our discussions has kind of helped me remember who I am and not question kind of what do I bring to the table still or anything else. And I think finally this post is one of many that actually confirmed there is a concept of ghost jobs. It exists and there are problems, and it's part of, I think, the battle that I have faced as I have been struggling to land a job following my second layoff.
Well, let's go ahead and continue. There's another post here.
Okay.
And it's important to note that with this post, this has a deep dive article attached to it that we'll link in our show notes if you guys want to read further about this. But this is from Mega Rose. She is a author. And she discusses some of the trauma and stuff that goes along with this. So Megan starts here. You've polished your resume, poured your heart into the perfect cover letter, and hit the apply, only to be met with the deafening silence. Weeks later, the same job pops back up with slightly new wording.
Yep.
Welcome to the chilling world of ghost job postings. Fake, misleading listings that the companies use to look like they're growing, even when they have zero intention of hiring. Boo.
Yes.
In this brutally honest expose, we will pull back the curtain on deceptive recruiting tactics and introduce you to Marcia, the recruiter with the raging case of FOMO, who's mastered the art of manipulating job boards just to keep up appearances. Her goal?
Goodness.
Not to hire, just to look like she was. This article dives deep into the emotional toll ghost listings take on job seekers, the ethical and legal implications of this shady strategy, and the red flags that you need to watch for before wasting another second applying for fake jobs. If you're exhausted, disillusioned, and done being ghosted by companies playing games with your future, don't miss this read. It's time to call out the lies, take back your power, and find real opportunities that respect your time and talent. Job seekers beware, the ghost jobs are real, and this is how you fight back. So Mo, this is all part of your experience as well. What do you think about this expose that Megan is purporting to us?
Honestly, what really got me with this one, it wasn't just a post, although the other post that we will be sharing definitely adds so much value and just validate, I think, what people are seeing. What really got me on this is that if the full article that you were talking about was written on it. So yes, just to reiterate, we will be sharing that link in the show notes. I actually took the time to read the article in full and was interested in the references that were noted. Audit Law, Economic Times, Fortune, New York Post, and SHRM. A few things, I mean, obviously we're not going to take the time to dig into all of that, and I'm sure there will be many people that would be interested in reading that. I highly recommend that you do if you are a job seeker right now, because I very much am aware that you are probably experiencing very similar things to what I have been. Let me grab a couple of quick quotes that I wanted to share. The first one, if you've been job searching in the last few years, you've likely come face to face with a ghost job. A listing that looks promising but has no real intention behind it. These postings are more common than you would think. According to a 2025 report, so that's obviously right here, the year we're in, 43% of job seekers suspect they've applied to ghost jobs, and 1 in 4 companies, that's 25%, admitted they weren't certain they would fill the roles they posted. This is directly from Economic Times 2025. The thing that jumped out to me, Joy, was if you've been job searching in the last few years. The first thing I thought was, the last few years? Is that honestly how long ghost job postings have been out there? Had a quick flashback and I'm like, okay, hold on. When was the last time I was looking for a job? Well, it was about 5 years ago. I did feel that it was a little bit challenging during that time, but I believe I found a job in less than 6 months. It didn't feel anything like what I'm experiencing right now.
Okay.
But now I'm kind of thinking, was that part of my challenge and I just didn't know it at the time?
Right.
Really strange to wonder that. I mean, I had never heard of that concept way back when. Furthermore, for me personally, I absolutely relate to the idea that it actively undermines mental health and erodes trust in the job market. Yes, I absolutely feel this after my own experiences. Next, I found some answers to questions that I've had over the past couple of months.
Okay.
Why companies post ghost jobs and why it's so dangerous. So Joy, you actually had this from Bo's post earlier, and there were 4 answers provided. To appear like the company's growing, to build a just-in-case talent pipeline, to satisfy internet hiring requirements, and to gather market data on salaries and skill sets. So we're seeing some agreement here right, with some of these people that are in the market. And
They're just using people like data.
yeah, but you know, I mean, companies have responsibilities to themselves, to their shareholders. They have jobs to do and profits to make. You know, we're here to perform our jobs, and sometimes those don't overlap. Sometimes they're at odds with each other. And then you throw in all the things that we've been experiencing from an, you know, economy, elections, all kinds of different things that have been going on. I would feel that it's fair to kind of say, I'm sure it's been a struggle on all the sides, just to be fair. The last thing that really jumped out to me, it's the first time, and it's actually the only time that I've seen this, Joy. It went on to say, this isn't just unethical, it's edging into legal risk. As Audit Law 2024 highlights, a class action lawsuit is brewing against companies accused of posting fake job as a deceptive business practice. Right?
I might like that.
I'm not sure. I was really, really like, whoa, is that like a thing? Let's see. The last thing they said was misleading candidates in this way may violate consumer protection laws, particularly if done to harvest personal data, what you were just saying a minute ago, Joy,
Right.
or inflate business optics. So, whoa. For me, I had no idea that this could actually lead into a possible legal risk. Joy, what do you say?
Well, it's interesting, especially when you talk about the consumer protection laws, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because,
We're job seekers.
right.
How does that
I
work?
think about, buying a vacuum and it blowing up or something like that happening. But yes, could those consumer protection laws also protect us within the job sphere and job seeking? And I'm very curious about this because what's going to stop the businesses from doing it unless they get slapped on the wrist or
Yeah.
called out for it? They're not listening to the people on LinkedIn so far because they haven't stopped their practices. We're still seeing a lot of people that are defeated and deflated, and
Yes.
over the years I've seen the defeat and the deflate from people, but I didn't know why.
Same.
But ghost jobs probably was a huge part of all of that. You try, you grind, you do, and you just keep getting denied from it. So very interesting.
You know, Joy, I wonder from our listener standpoint, we would love to hear if anyone was aware of ghost job postings in the last couple of years. Honestly, for me, it was such a shock. I mean, this is a brand new term. I don't know, maybe into January, February is when I first ever heard of it.
Right.
So, listeners, we would love to hear from you. Have you been aware of this term longer than this year? Do you feel like you were impacted a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago? That would be really interesting for me to hear because of all the friends that I've asked, including you, Joy, no one had ever heard of a ghost job posting before.
Yes, and you guys can join us on Facebook,
Oh, yeah.
Telegram, and we have this cool thing where you can leave us voicemails as well. So just check out our show notes and that'll give you all the details. We would love to have a voice message from you.
Yes, actually, that would be interesting. To kind of wrap up this discussion, and especially just the wonderful insight that was provided by this article, there are tips on how to spot a job ghost post. My gosh, saying that.
Say it again.
Ghost job post. I had to
There you
think
go.
about that for just a second. That's a lot I had to say. And also a recommendation on how to change tactics to find more authentic job opportunities. Honestly, this insightful article gave me the final validation that I was looking for. No, I'm definitely not crazy. Well, I mean, at least about this.
Right.
And there are real obstacles and real challenges in finding a job. I'm thankful to be old enough to remember a job search market that was not like this.
Right.
Yep.
With age, there's wisdom.
Among other things.
Yes. So we're going to go over one more post from LinkedIn, and this is from a tech consultant named April.
Okay.
So April begins, the job is open forever. You've seen it. The same job listing is reposted for months, sometimes over a year. And at first you think, maybe they're just still searching.
I've got that.
But after applying and hearing crickets, the truth sinks in. It was never real. Or worse, it was, but no one stayed.
Ooh.
We pour time into tailored resumes, thoughtful cover letters, and skill assessments, only to find that our efforts disappear into a black hole.
Yep.
No feedback, no follow-up, just silence. And it's not just discouraging for job seekers, it's eroding the trust in platforms like LinkedIn.
Oh boy.
So what's the point of easy apply if it leads nowhere?
I feel that.
What's the value of a job board if the jobs aren't actually there? When companies leave ghost jobs up to farm resumes, they appear innovative or keep their pipeline warm due to a hiring freeze, and creates this toxic loop.
Yes.
Number one, real candidates feel used. Number two, the credibility of job platforms tanks. And number three, engagement drops and the system just breaks.
Yeah.
And she concludes, let's be real. If a role's been open for 300 plus days,
Ooh,
something is broken.
that's almost a year.
Right. We don't need more opportunities. We just need honest ones. So Mo, I know you really enjoyed the last one. Please share.
Yes, I am so glad you shared those 3 posts. And in fact, I could not resist the humor of this last one. Sometimes, or even a lot of times, humor can be the best medicine when you're trying to navigate the job search process or anything that is painful or disheartening or mentally exhausting. All of the above. This is going to be a little bit long, but I just loved it so much. And I actually went out and took a quick look at him on LinkedIn. He has a couple of very humorous posts. So this is Alex, and he's a VP in operations at an unnamed company. So this is kind of done in my mind as humorous dialogue. Let's dive into this last one. And I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. Job interviews in 2025. It's The Office meets Survivor, judged by Shark Tank, and ghosted like Casper. It all starts innocently enough. You hit apply like a desperate contestant on The Bachelor, whispering, "Pick me, choose me, hire me." You even attached a custom cover letter that took you 3 hours and 2 existential crises to write. Goodness. You sit back, sip your coffee, and wait. 2 weeks of silence later, just when you're about to give up and become a potato farmer, Karen appears. She emails you like, "Hey, Rockstar, we're super impressed and would love to chat." You scream. You text 5 friends. You emotionally move into the company.
Right.
Round 1, the phone screen. Karen calls. She's reading off a script like she's doing bedtime stories for a robot. You drop all the keywords: strategic thinker, cross-functional, team synergy. She's eating yogurt. You hear it. She ends with, "You're a perfect fit. Next step soon." Translation: you will never hear from me again. But then, round 2, Zoom with the hiring manager. You wear your nicest shirt and emotionally brace yourself. The manager logs in late, sipping a Red Bull, and says, "Sorry, back-to-back meetings." Lies. He was definitely watching cat videos. He asks one question. "So tell me about yourself." You deliver a TED Talk with charts, graphs, and spiritual vulnerability. He nods once, types nothing, and says, "Cool." You log off and sob into your coffee.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Round 3, the panel interview, aka corporate jury duty. You walk virtually into a room with 10 people. 8 cameras are off. 2 people are asleep. 1 is aggressively typing, possibly writing a Yelp review about you in real time.
Oh.
Someone named Bob asked, "If you were a kitchen utensil, which one would you be and why?" I have honestly never been asked if I were a kitchen utensil. You panic. You say spatula. Bob nods like you just solved world hunger. One person says, "Wow, great energy." Another mumbles, "We'll circle back." You leave the call feeling like you just finished the final boss level of a game and somehow still lost. Then, nothing. Silence. No feedback. No thanks for your time. Not even a rejection email. I feel that.
Right.
Karen, gone. She's changed her name, joined a witness protection program, and moved to a different dimension where follow-ups don't exist. You refresh Gmail like it's a toxic ex's Instagram. Whoa, that's kind of intense. Nothing. You check LinkedIn. The role's been posted under a new title. Team Happiness Alignment Ninja, in parentheses, remote, must love chaos. And you're back on the battlefield, resume in hand, emotionally numb, but still somehow weirdly optimistic. Because deep down, you know, somewhere out there is a company that might not ghost you. Or at least ghost you with a little more professionalism. Good luck out there. Bring snacks.
I love that. What a great writer, number 1, that he is.
Right?
But number 2, like, he captures it.
All the things.
Right.
And all of its gory messiness, but to make you laugh and still validate you at the same time.
Right. And to punk the companies, too.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
This is what's happening to us. You know, and these recruiters, they're going to be on the other end of this someday.
Yes.
They're going to get there.
The tide always turns, right?
It does.
It's like when you're looking for a house and it's on the buyer's side and then it eventually swings to the seller's side. Well, the same thing happens. It's either in the hands of the job seekers or the companies, right? And can you imagine? It's going to be brutal when it's our turn again.
Right.
But I loved that. That was just so amazing. It was worth reading in its glorious entirety.
Yes. It was very good. I'm so glad that you brought it to us. Well, let's talk about the next episode, which will be episode 6.
Okay.
We are going to be talking about how long should it take to do your job search. What are your expectations, your experience, the market conditions, and future goals play into it.
Yep.
And we will see you next time on the Real Talk for Today's Job Seekers podcast with Mo and Joy. Thanks so much for listening, you guys.
Yep. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Bye, y'all. We want to thank you for listening to the Real Talk for Today's Job Seeker podcast with Mo and Joy. If you want to advertise and connect with our many listeners around the country, please reach out to us at realtalkfortodaysjobseeker@gmail.com. If you have any show topic, join us on our Facebook page to give us any recommendations and also to find out about upcoming shows. Thanks again for listening.